It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up.
This is made by a
Welcome. You're
mustache
listening to
vegan.
Bucked Up with Sam Buck.
Oh.
Now you fucked up.
Now you fucked
Now you
up.
fucked up. Now
You done fucked up now.
you have fucked up now.
This
Now you
intro makes me
fucked
so
up.
happy, but I
Now you
always have to
fucked
talk
up.
over it because
Now
I
you
don't love
fucked
John.
up. Now you fucked up.
Take that, Joe.
Now you
Yeah.
fucked up.
Shit.
Now you have fucked up.
Literally the nicest guy I know.
Yeah, no, he's one of the most amazing people. I said that was made by John, and you went, who? And I went, oh, he's my friend. He did stand up with us. He goes, oh, the mustache
I didn't
vegan
say,
guy.
I didn't say who. I said which John. There's
There's a lot of, it's a
hey
common
man,
name.
this guy John Smith. It's like there's 5 fucking million of those.
John is the white Muhammad.
The White Muhammad.
It's just too common of a name.
the guy that would just he'd take and go with us to Mike's. That was always fun.
Yeah.
Remember that one Monday? My car was in the shop, so we just fucking went out and we did like 5 together.
Who is this?
Huh?
Who is this?
What are you talking about? We went out with him.
And did 5 mics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to be like, I did not know. I thought you were talking about some shaman or something.
Why shaman?
I don't know.
Am I losing my fucking mind?
I'm losing
You guys
my
want to
mind.
introduce yourselves?
I don't think we should. I don't think either
I'm
of us
Josh
are.
Adams.
Hey, I'm going to be a real dick.
What's up?
Can we restart it?
It's live. Isn't it? It's
No,
live?
it's not.
No,
live.
I mean we can just clip this part out.
Cool. I just didn't want to talk.
Oh, no drugs.
No drugs.
Because your mama.
Because of my mama. Sorry,
Look who's
I don't mean to
Greg
be
and
a
I
dick.
have a
It's
mom.
okay. It's unlisted. We can.
Aren't you so happy I didn't do this live? This was the worst intro to any podcast
Okay,
ever.
ready? We'll start over. We'll start over. Hold on 1 second.
Is that B? Oh, okay.
All right, hold on.
It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up. Welcome. You're listening to Bucked Up with Sam Buck.
I love this intro so much.
Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up.
I like upsetting my producers before I even start the
You
show,
have fucked
making
up
them
now.
restart and do our story.
Antagonize on.
Antagonize on him.
Now you fucked up. Now
I'm
you
just gonna
fucked
keep
up.
getting
Now you
angry and
fucked up.
angrier as the
Now you have
podcast
fucked
goes on.
up.
Do it, dude.
Welcome to Bucked Up, a self-help podcast by someone who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm sorry, what the buck they're doing.
Woo. Is it-
Woo.
No, swearing is out then. I can't say.
We can swear. You can swear all you want.
can
Did you
say
hear
it.
that intro?
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, you can
You
say.
done fucked up now. Okay,
you
cool.
done.
Cool.
I am here with one of my favorite human beings of all time. One of the funniest comedians in this room. No, one of them. He's in the top 3 comedians in this room.
In this room, there's 3 of us. So technically, yes.
No, Al Christakis is here. He's one of my favorite comedians from Boston, but he also, just like me, is from Cape Cod, the land of rainbows, kittens, and heroin.
I love Cape Cod.
I do enjoy Cape Cod. It's actually funny. A little story time. Oh, just so you know, I like to cut people off and I tell long stories, and it's all about me because this is my show. So
That's good, man.
everybody, I just wanted you. No, but I actually met you when I still wanted to do stand up, but I was too scared to, and it was
At
right
the Lanto?
at the Lanto. That's you were running a show there.
Yeah, I remember that was like one of the That was I was very, very early. That was before I was even doing it consistently.
Oh, you killed that! I remember being
no,
like,
I
"This
fucking
dude,
bombed.
you
You're
need
lying.
to shut
You
your
changed
whore
that shit.
mouth."
You changed that to fit the narrative, man. I bombed so fucking hard that night. Yeah, that shit was uncomfortable. I remember getting off stage and just being like, oh, fuck. Well, I got to throw all that shit out. Yeah, I was so fresh that I didn't even do a mic to. I just did 5 new minutes.
I thought you were very funny that
And
night.
yeah, I never tested it at a mic before because I didn't know how fucking stand up worked.
Yeah, that was actually the reason I didn't do stand up for another couple of years.
I
was
thought you
how
hated
funny.
me. I thought.
No, I was.
I remember
so...
bombing and then you being like, "Yeah, my fucking friend dragged me to this fucking weird show with this fucking guy that
No,
sucks."
dude, I was so scared to do stand up. I always wanted to do it, and then a a mutual friend of ours brought me to the show, and you did really well. Everyone was good, and I got so scared, and you gave me your number, and then I didn't do stand-up. We didn't see each other for another, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I thought you died, and then you came back.
I did. I
to be
died.
honest, I always thought, because I was baby-faced, I guess, but I always thought you were way fucking older than you were. Like, you're younger than me. I thought you
Yeah.
were, 3 years older than me.
Yeah, I'm
But
a
then-
very... When I shave
Of course,
my
when you...
beard... When I shaved my beard, I was called boy the first time I shaved my beard. In 3 years, I shaved my beard. I went out and I was called boy, and I was like, I can never do this again.
What's that fucking roast joke I wrote for Josh? You look like Pennywise the Clown if he was trying to pretend to be a Mormon.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just a little, a tinge of
like a penny.
creepy.
I
there's a
like
look
to
in your eye
hide
where,
in sewers.
Fuck yeah, I'm going to kill a kid. I kill kids.
Eat them too.
Mm.
I heard that's how
What's the
rich
point?
people
No.
live longer, so maybe I should do that. This is a self-help podcast. If anyone has any science on eating little children and making us live longer, send it in.
Listen, if you kill and eat kids, don't fuck them. If you just kill and eat kids,
Please don't. That's a PSA.
let us know
Where
how
do you
it
want
goes
them
out.
to send these clips?
Them killing and eating kids.
Yes, if you have clips,
Um,
please send them to sambuckcomedy@gmail.com.
Everybody love
Also,
everybody!
if you have pictures of taints, I like that.
A picture of a taint.
A taint.
Why do you like a taint?
I just want some pictures of them. I want this. That's what I want this.
Oh, you want
background
that to be all taints?
Yeah, I want it to say bucked up.
Can I put
and-
my taint here, or is this like a?
Yours
is
can
this
be the main one.
exclusive? Oh, cool. So it could be like a collage. How about a bunch of little pictures of taints, and they all make my taint?
That is what we should
Like
do.
one of those.
Like a Michael Jackson collage.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always a poster of Michael Jackson with
it's
little
Michael
pictures of.
Jacksons.
Yeah, I was gonna say Macaulay Culkin's. but
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
This has gone great so far to self-help. I know people out there are just wanting to better themselves right now. So we met, and I didn't do comedy again for another I didn't talk to you for another 2 years, and then I saw you at Ying's, the saddest open mic of all time, which I love. Shout out to Ying's, but
Yeah, one of my favorite places.
my favorite places to just humble myself.
You just do 20 minutes of silence at Ying's.
It's great. It's
You just do as much time as you feel like and just bomb for as long as you want. It's
Do
really
you
fun.
think that you would get more laughs doing it in front of the mirror than doing it at Ying's?
Well, Paul's gonna laugh, so Paul's not at my house.
Shout out Paul. He isn't.
Yeah,
I like to keep.
no.
I'd like to keep Paul in my bathroom so he can laugh while
And you
I'm doing
might get
jokes
a
in the mirror.
on the right night. You might get 2 or 3 comics to give one of those ha, where it's they're too in their own head to even pay attention. But you say something like "my pussy's full of butter," and they're like, "Ah, that was
You're
that line was funny."
You're the worst at that because your laugh is so loud, and you'll just have a single ha.
Like, I'm keeping that line.
Yeah, I just know in my recording when to keep that. So, you didn't do any open mics before you did stand up that time at Lanto?
No, I didn't. No, I did a couple open mic. I didn't have a car then. So I really count from when I got my car. That's when I really started doing comedy. But I hadn't done any of that material. The last time I had done a show was the last time I hosted Lanto, which was 2 months prior.
Oh, how did you do that time?
Good. I guess, yeah. That was my old shit. That was I don't like my old material. I would do well with it, but it was kind of hack. So,
I hate going back to my old material or even looking at it, even when I thought it was good in the moment.
just wait, baby.
I
It's
know
gonna
it
get-
stinks
just-
because I'm not even that far in, but still, it's
No.
I don't want to keep jokes
in
over
5
too
years,
much.
I'm gonna be like, I can't believe I said any of that shit.
Yeah. I can't believe you think you're going to be alive in 5 years.
I know, yeah. I can't wait till everyone's like, he was so much better than.
Oh,
we
yeah, who
thought
said
he
that
was."
last time?
That was Alan. Was like, man, that guy was on his way.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for bringing it back to no negativity. I forgot that one of our main rules on this
There's
show is
no
positivity.
negativity. Al, you're
I don't
gonna
know
die
why
from diabetes.
I
you
brought
fat
Al
fuck.
on the show. about no negativity, because that is your bread and butter, and I'm
Just
saying that
being
because
sad
I
and
know
fat,
you
man.
love bread and butter.
Mm.
I'm going to ask you a question from my magical journal, but I've been taking quotes from. I like to write 30 minutes a day about how much I suck. Just like it's a fun thing to do. I think it's very therapeutic. I told you, self-help podcast. I don't know what I'm doing.
It might help you come at times.
It
I
might.
hate myself.
But I took quotes that I wrote in all sincerity, and I wrote them down, and I want to read you one of them before I ask you a question. This is something I wrote to myself
This is
in
about
all
yourself?
sincerity. Yeah, it's very sad. Trust me.
You fat titted bitch. Can
Every-
I write quotes about you?
All our quotes might be the same. Everything you want will happen if you keep trying to be your best self. I wrote that in all sincerity. I was saying this on the last podcast. I'm already repeating myself too in, but it's like that would not even pass on a shitty Instagram page. And I'm writing
Dude,
that
that's
to
like
myself
something
in
like
all
you could construct like a real nice joke on Twitter, like no fat, and it would get like 4 likes. But if you post that, you're gonna get like fucking 25 likes.
Oh
You
yeah.
just like
I do YouTube yoga too. I understand true sadness.
true sadness, which is white girl likes, just fucking filling up your page. The best thing.
The best thing. So when you got a car, were you just like, fuck it, I'm doing mics all the time?
Yeah, I was like, this is what I want to do with my life, and I don't know. I just I felt like
That
you know,
pizza
nothing-
pies.
That and pizza pies. I quit that shit. I'm not doing the pizza pies no more.
No more pizza
Um,
pies in your future?
I don't know. Maybe it depends. If I really need a day job, this whole welfare thing doesn't work out. I'm trying to get on welfare because that's the best way to be a comedian professionally.
It's to get paid by the government.
get
It's
paid by the
weird.
government.
The government is the #1 sponsor of comedians.
In a way, they don't do a lot for us. I think there'd be a lot more professional comics if they did. There should be an artist fund for our dick story. Yeah, this is really we don't deserve anything. This is a fucking stupid thing to do with your life.
This is episode 2, and I might walk out, and you can just take over. I won't even change the name. It'll just be.
I'm rescinding the whole positivity thing. I
Yeah,
don't
no
like that.
more. 10 minutes with you, and it just goes into
It's
madness.
just right into the. We should all kill ourselves. There's no God.
Do you keep a like a? You told me you woke up at 4 yesterday, and that's impressive.
4 p.m.
Yeah, 4 p.m. That's impressive.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I got I'm a little insomniac bitch, and also a
Me
lot of
too.
it. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
That's,
that's.
do
you want to
it's
introduce
good
yourself?
for stand up.
Oh, this is
We got
Ani Moosh.
we got Ani Moosh,
Ani Moosh.
What up? What up?
the
the
Armenian
best.
scorpion.
She actually has
Shouts
that
out to Serge
tattooed
Tonkian.
down her left leg.
A scorpion.
The Armenian
scorpion. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's me.
And then shout out Serge Tankian.
Fuck
on
the
her
Turk.
right.
Fuck the Turk. Shouts out to Serge, man. Darren Malakian.
So you're insomnia, but do you have a day? So do you have a daily routine even though you wake up at 4? Like, do you write every day? Do you try to?
I try to write every day.
How long?
I have like a weird system where like I'll reward myself for like if I do a mic, I'll give myself I have like a dash system,
Mhm.
right? And if I do a mic, I'll give myself a dash. If I write 5 hours in a week, I'll give myself a dash. And if I work out, because I had to put that on there because there was no fucking there's no reason for me to work out otherwise.
Dude,
Like,
that's
such a fat piece of shit that I was like, I had to add that. Yeah, and then I just, it's kind of like a video game. You keep
Yeah,
doing that, and,
100%.
Like, look at all these checks I have, which is kind of. I have like really bad ritualistic OCD too, so that kind of feeds into it.
No, we were talking
But,
about that on the last podcast. How having a system in place works. Like that's how you just it doesn't matter what it is. Irish O'Neill on the last podcast was talking about how he kind of keeps an order like the Jedi. And you can go back and listen if you want to understand what that means.
Fuck the Jedi, Sith baby,
We got a Sith Lord over
Grey
here.
Jedi.
Do you think you could fit in the Darth Vader helmet?
Be cool with it. I was thinking about getting
With just
one for,
orange hair popping out the bottom of it?
My fat neck beard is just fucking
Everybody
slopping
love
out.
everybody!
It's like fucking. George
but
Lucas's
we were
fucking goiter neck.
Thank you for bringing the positivity back out.
Hell yeah.
Got
But
you.
no, but it's you need a system, you need an order, you need something in your life to kind of keep you going. At least I do, and I feel like a lot of people who want to better themselves do.
Well, this is such a discouraging business. It really is, and it's very fucking hard. And you need to incentivize hard work when you're doing this. We just like because of that thing that I have, it was like there was points where I was doing like like 10 mics a week, and I was at usually before this fucking whole COVID shit ruined everything. I was doing about 10 mics a week, and then I was I had the shows on top of it, so in a good week I'd go up like fucking 16, 15 times a week.
That's crazy, and it
Yeah.
shows in your work. It shows in your stand-up that you put that time in, and it's kind of crazy because that's all you can really do. You have to write, but like putting stage time in is the only
Stage
thing.
time is like one of the most valuable fucking things. That's why I tell guys in Boston it's a little rough out here for stage time in terms of length. Like you get like a lot of 5 to 7s in the city. You got to go on try and go on the road. Try and establish yourself in like a Maine or a New Hampshire, because there's places there where they give you too much time.
Yeah.
Like first fucking time I was like a year and a half in, and I got 20 minutes in Maine, and that was unheard of for me. Like the most I'd done up to that point was like fucking 7 to 10.
Come
And-
out to Cape Cod. If you come to
Yeah.
Cape Cod, you can get a lot of time and probably some smack.
Oh yeah, that's even with the mic. You know what? I will say that outside of the shows, like go to a more rural mic, because if you go to mics, I mean the studio mic, favorite fucking mic ever. I love the studio.
It's a great
you
mic.
know? It's 3 minutes though, and that's like I don't know. You sit there the whole night and you're like, I'm gonna do new shit, and then it's like, yeah, but it's 3 minutes and there's a crowd, so I'm gonna have to do something old, or you feel pressure to do that. But if you fuck around, like at Ying's, you could do like a 10. If you're not from Cape, you could.
Oh
totally
yeah,
do
you can
like,
do 10 minutes.
You do 10 for sure.
It's good to get 10 minutes in, and it feels longer than you think. Like, I remember when we did a booked show at Wheaton College. I did 12 minutes. And when you haven't done 12 minutes in a while, especially like, I don't know, on a show that's important to you, it feels like a long time up there. I know you did a half hour on that show and you headlined
Yeah.
that, and time slows down.
It's also, do you know that is a great thing though. Because there's like an adrenaline with that. If you're doing really well, it feels awesome to be up there that long. It really does. And I don't know. It really just is. Keep getting those 5s in until you get that amount of time, I guess. Like,
yeah.
I'm still built. Like, I just want an hour so badly. I
I
think that's
know.
my final goal.
I don't
but-
even think I have a tight 5 minutes.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. This whole thing kind of happened at a shit time for you. I feel like you were really starting to break into the city. Like, you got some studio spots, and that's definitely the real. Like, if you can get in at the studio, that is like the first building block to like, all right, I'm doing a Wednesday at the studio. Then you do that. Someone sees you there. They give you a spot on their show. And then you just get more and more stage time. And booked show stage time is so fucking valuable.
It really is. And
really-
also being a nice person, like being friendly.
Oh, yeah.
Positivity. Rule number 2 on this show, positivity. It's
Positivity.
like if you match people like I would go very early to open mics because I don't have a life. And I could sit there and not talk to anyone, but I know I've met some really funny, great comedians through that hopefully I'll have on this show. Shout out funny comedians like Evan Zygmunt.
I love that, Evan. He's
Yeah.
great.
But it's you
Both
just
our butts hurt. Sorry.
you just talk to people and you become friends, and it makes the scene that much more easier to manage and go through.
I think this is Reardon. I was talking to him about it. Dan Reardon, very funny fella, fellow thick boy, Dan Reardon. We're talking about the open mic thing, and he was like, it really is like the first year in the city. It feels like Fight Club, where they're out on the porch, And they're like, no encouragement, nothing. Like, you just got to fucking sit there and they berate you and hit you with a fucking broom.
Yeah.
And then eventually, did you see Fight Club or am I just
I saw it a long time ago.
So you don't know?
I
Right.
d-
I know what
You
you're
don't know,
talking
you know,
about.
Ani gets it.
People listening,
But it's like,
all
if you
three
can
people.
finally, if you get into the house, then it's like, I kind of made it in a way.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then, but there's like, there's different levels of that. Even within a scene, it's like, you got the bar scene, you got fucking the club scene, you got the other club scene.
But
And,
it is
you-
true that if you put a certain amount of energy into whatever you're doing, that energy will come back. If you go to open mics, if you talk to people, if you write comedy, like, it doesn't mean that everyone's on the same timeline, but if you put energy in, energy will come back. I know so many people who care about the scene so much, and that in itself helps because it makes the scene grow.
Well, yeah, I don't know. If you're like a nice guy and like you can make friends, and if you're out there 7 days a week and people see you, you're not only you're gonna get stage time, but you're gonna get better because
Yeah.
that's what it needs. Because like your first couple years, it's like even if you get the stage time, you're not gonna kill necessarily. Like you might kill, but you need to bomb.
Do you
On
remember
book
the first
shows.
time you killed?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Not that I can. Not that I remember now.
Do you remember the first time you bombed?
First time I bombed.
Shout out Sally O'Brien's.
That shouts out to Sally. Well, that's a mic. That's like a different thing.
Yeah, no.
If you bombing at a mic is it's kind of mandatory. You got to get over that fast. You got to
So
develop.
fast.
You got to get like some callous skin.
I was reading this
Um,
book by Franklin Auger. It's like The Art of Stand-Up Comedy or something. It's a very good book. It's from the 90s, so a lot of it is dated, but it is very good, and it was funny. It was one of his things. I forget who was being interviewed, but he was like, if I see someone bomb 3 times at a mic hard and still do it, then I know they're in it for the long haul.
Yeah,
Like, if you bomb 3 times hard at a mic and you're still doing it,
it hurts so bad.
it hurts so
And,
bad.
It hurts so little
It's
once
a
you've
scar
done it. a
that
bunch,
never
yeah.
goes away.
Yeah.
No, it goes away. I don't know.
For me, not yet. The first time was not good.
Ugh, yeah. that
I,
can be rough. I remember there's one particularly bad one. The first time I did the comedy studio, I had my car for like 2 months. So I was doing it seriously like 2 months. I was doing it like not even that much, probably like 3 times a week.
Mhm.
I was doing mics. And yeah, it was the comedy studio Wednesday. That was the first, and this was the old studio.
The late night one? Or was
Uh,
it not late night?
no, 8 p.m. I don't know.
Oh,
It
because
was a- it was
didn't
a
they do
show.
Comedy Hell at like 9 or?
No, that's Tuesday. This is a
Oh,
mic.
oh,
This was a
oh,
this was a
oh,
book
okay.
show. This was a they didn't have the mic back then. This
Oh,
was the old
now I
studio.
understand. Yeah.
This was the first time. This was like right before they closed too. But I was like, this is my shot. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Like I was very green. I just thought like this is gonna work out and then everything's gonna be fine. You don't. I didn't know you had to keep fucking going, nonstop and bombing and trying again. And anyway, I just ate it horribly. I was doing a bunch of edgelord shit. Which is like totally not. I think I have some jokes that are a little edgy now, but like back then it was like a lot of edge with no real punchline. I'm like, oh, it's dirty, like
Yeah.
it's kind of lame. And yeah, just fucking ate it horribly for these college kids. I just fucking hated it.
How long? 5 minutes?
I thought it was 5, and I just had 5. So I did 7, and then like I did like a street joke or something because the light didn't come on, and I was afraid to just leave the stage.
Oh, do you remember what street joke you did?
I don't know if it was a street joke. It was just no, it wasn't a street joke. It was something terrible that like I no longer did because it was just too stupid and weird. Like,
Yeah.
it just didn't work. And then yeah, I filled the time, got off stage, and I just oh god, it was like it's like pain in your fucking heart, like deep in your heart. You don't want to talk to anybody, and people are like, oh, what's up? Like I like that one bit. And you're like, no, you didn't. I fucking suck.
Yeah.
And I drove home and I was listening to In Rainbows by Radiohead and I was fucking crying, dude.
Oh, that's a
My,
tough one. Yeah.
Yeah. And my mom called me and I was crying to her. And I'm like, I'm going to go back to community college and I'm this and I'm that. And Yeah, then I was speeding and I got pulled over.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh.
I got like a $200 ticket and I was like wiping away tears when the
With the
lady
ticket.
yeah, the lady cop was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Fuck, it was
Do
terrible.
you know what it's like to bomb at the comedy studio?
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I thought I was. gonna
Cops
do it
are not
again.
sympathetic to comedy.
No, some of them are. I've been pulled over before, and they're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I hate fucking bringing it up because it's gonna end up like, "Well, tell me a joke." That's happened so many times. Like I was coming from an open mic, "Tell me a joke."
What joke do you tell cops? What's your joke? To tell a
I
cop?
just do some fucking street joke. What's brown and sticky? A stick.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, this guy sucks," and I get to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got out of a ticket one time because I was saying, like, I don't know, I was on some show and I told a cop, and he was like, "Oh, I fucking love stand up. Like Tom Segura, like I saw him in Medford, and like
Oh,
we talked,
really?
yeah, we talked about Tom Segura, and he's like, "Oh, you know what my favorite album? What?" Like this guy was like really savvy with comedy.
And then he
stuff.
gave you a ticket.
No, he didn't give me a ticket. I got out of a ticket. It was great.
I was threatened
Guy's a
by
comedy
two
guy.
cops after doing a joke on police, and that was fun. I had to stop doing that joke because I got scared.
Where did you do that?
At the Cleton Anchor.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Cape Cod. Yeah, I was
Whoop,
threatened
whoop.
by two police officers.
Was that off stage or that was you got pulled over?
No, it was off stage. I told the jokes, and then they were like, I had one beer that day. Like I was drinking the only beer I drank, and they go, "You better stop drinking, or we could, follow you home and pull you over."
Ooh.
I know. I was like, "Ooh," but
That's,
they loved all the other jokes about race, jokes about whatever, but they did not like a joke about 80% of cops being obese, which is a true fact.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah! Let me.
Shouts out to the pigs. Don't pull me over.
What do you do for working out? What do you do for your physical health?
Just cardio, biking.
Biking is so much. I
Yeah.
picked up riding my bike.
Oh no,
over-
I don't ride. I have an exercise bike.
Oh,
But I
d-
don't know.
what do you do? Do you listen to like podcasts or do you listen to music when you work out?
Podcasts.
I realized that yeah, guys, I have a self-help podcast, so listen up. I'm gonna talk about some self-help shit I do. I like to run,
Mhm.
and I like to ride my bike. I picked up riding my bike over quarantine. But whenever I run and when I ride my bike, I really enjoy listening to audiobooks, and I enjoy listening to podcasts when doing cardio, because then my body can just kind of shut off and do whatever it needs to do,
Mhm.
and I can kind of learn and focus. Music is good because it pumps you up, but I don't know. I feel more fulfilled in that way. I feel like I'm
Like
getting
you're learning
more.
something.
Exactly.
Like you're working on
yeah.
your body and your mind.
My body and my mind.
I don't.
getting
I
there.
listen to stupid fucking podcasts that don't that don't benefit me in any way at all. It's like all like fucking. I mean Joe Rogan sometimes, but yeah, like Your Mom's House and fucking Legion of Skanks and Come Down. It's all just fucking stupid jokes.
I like the podcast Inception we're going to get into about talking about podcasts on a podcast, but
Podcast on a podcast.
podcast on a podcast. We should get
Shouts
a
out to the Gutter Boys.
shout. Yeah, I love the Gutter Boys. But okay. No, but I like I do like stupid podcasts too. Like I like Comedy Bang Bang a lot. I think that's a very funny podcast.
You know, I was always into the show. I never really checked out the podcast, but it's wild, right? It's not. It's
It
kind
is.
of all like sketches and shit.
No, it's an interview podcast, but people play characters.
Oh yeah. And
So
like,
it's
Patton
fun.
Oswalt's the not Patton Oswalt, fucking Paul F. Tompkins will be like the fucking bird handler or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, it's whatever.
Or Bob Odenkirk was like some fucking bird whistler.
How many days a week do you work out?
I don't know, like 3 or 4. Lately in quarantine, I've also been I have an axe and I have like a backyard, so I've just been fucking
Chopping wood?
not just chopping. I go out and I just fucking we have a stump, and it's like that's a really fun workout. in
Just
terms of
swinging an
cardio.
axe
Just
around?
hit a fucking stump with an axe over and over again.
Can we get video of you
Yeah.
doing that?
Fuck yeah, dude, shirtless.
That's hot.
Shirtless
Hell
with an
yeah.
axe. We should get a calendar of you and a fireman, like strapped
That's
with
a
an axe.
second
Oh.
merch item.
That is
Fuck
our
yeah.
second merch
Dude,
item.
I got one of those. I was gonna film a video. This happened when you know that Borat sling thing where it's just like the
I do
the
know, yeah, the
suspenders and like
bar,
your
yeah.
ass is just out.
I'll get one too.
So I went. I got one of those, and I I was just fucking
How
walking
much
around
did
my
you pay
brother.
for it?
I was like fucking $5. It wasn't a lot at
Wow.
all. And,
It's not a lot of cloth.
Yeah, and like my family wasn't home one day, so me and my brother just fucking. I just went upstairs to my brother. I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm just fucking wearing that thing. Like, "Hey, what's going on, buddy?" Just putting my fucking.
Is that
foot
why
on
you
shit.
no longer work with pizza pies?
Yeah, man, that was it. I've been harassment lawsuit. No, dude, we were gonna film a video, me and my brother, with me and the thing, but then the whole George Floyd thing happened. Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, Black Lives Matter.
And yeah, I just felt fucking
that's
not
not the
cool
right
at all.
time.
Give
Unless
it
you
6
did it
months.
in protest.
I don't know.
If you did it in protest.
If I'm just in the thing like Black Lives Matter, but then I seem like a piece of shit. Like I'm not supporting the cause.
What if you go to a protest in the outfit?
Wait, is this Pride? I don't know what's happening. I don't.
So you play music. You're
yeah,
a musician.
I play guitar, bass, drums, piano.
Do you do that every day?
I got an electronic drum set, and I've been fucking with that like all day with quarantine. Like it's so much fun to just.
Is it
fucking
like a
smack it.
Do you get into a meditative state when you play music?
I don't, not really. I just fuck around. Sometimes with drums, if you get like a nice like tribal rhythm going, you just feel kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really smoke pot with people, but because I just get so socially anxious, like I
Yeah.
cannot be around people. But when I get high by myself, I'll turn the lights off and I'll just play bass, or I'll fucking play Crash Bandicoot. on
And you
my-
connect to the music. I don't get a connection to music, and I love music so much. Shout out music.
Shouts out to
Shouts out to all music.
Shouts out to
pew,
all
pew,
mu-
pew.
all music lives matter. Fuck yeah.
No, but no, I do love music, but I don't understand how to play it. And I've tried to play drums, but that's just not how. It's like another language to me. I'm not good at learning other languages. I'm not good at.
I hate music theory. I'm not one of those guys that knows anything about. I just fuck around. Like I know how to play though. Like I can play in rhythm and stuff.
Did you
and,
teach yourself?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I had a bass teacher for a little bit, but like it was just like 6 months, and then I kind of just learned on my own.
He taught you shit like bam.
Yeah, bow. He just basically the dude just taught me how to read tabs, and I was like, oh, okay, this is how you do it. And then I took music theory classes, and it's just boring to me. It's like putting all that shit. Music is just a bunch of frequencies, and you put it into a box, and you're like, the circle of fifths, and fucking this, and this key, and I'm like, I don't really give a shit about
Do
anything.
you write
It's
music?
boring.
Do you write like songs?
I have some riffs and shit that I've written, but I don't
Like
gonna
lyrics?
pursue that.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I had some lyrics written. Oh god, it's so fucking embarrassing now.
I feel like comedy's a lot like that though, where you can't. All my best jokes, I don't know about you, but all my best jokes, there's a rhythm to the way I say the words. It's not just the words that I say. It's like a kind of a transient state, like a song where you're singing, but there's a certain way that you have to say the jokes.
I forget who said it, but stand up is it is an instrument that you're playing, but the instrument itself is the audience. So
Oh, that's actually a really good
Yeah.
way to put it. Who
That's
said
hot.
that? That
I
is
don't-
hot. I'm hard.
that's hot. I don't know who said that.
Was
probably
that
heard it on-
Hitler?
I probably heard it on Rogan or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the audience. You know, Hitler, my favorite human. His
Shout out to music, not Hitler.
shouts out
Everybody
to
love
music.
everybody!
No shouts out to Hitler.
No shouts out to Hitler. Hitler stay dead. Motherfuckers in Argentina right now is like 130.
This isn't. What's the conspiracy? Shout out to the conspiracy podcast on this
Trash
network.
Conspiracies.
Trash conspiracies with
Coming to you live after this podcast.
Vaden Jones. Is that who's?
That's correct.
Oh, shout out to conspiracy trash pandas.
Shouts out to Vaden Jones. Pew pew pew.
But this isn't that show. So don't you fucking talk about conspiracies.
Yeah,
out there.
fuck every podcast that's not this podcast.
This is a sports podcast. I told you
Fucking
that.
joke slut. Say your lines.
How much do you care versus not care? Because you do not care, but you also have to care because you give yourself the system. You work
They care
harder than
about-
anyone else I know.
I care so much about stand-up. I really do. But there's a certain level of... if you want to get good, you cannot care what the audience thinks necessarily. like you can't. There's so many traps to fall in. Like, I know so many dudes that are like, they're funny, but then they go on the side of hack because it's like I need to kill, and then you can kind of get trapped in that. Where like, because you can kill on stage and just not be that great at comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You take your time on stage. Even when I see you not do well, which is very rarely, you never really speed up. You don't seem like you... I speed up when I get nervous, and it's the same from that Franklin Hergé book I was reading. Long inhale. Sorry, I had to take a long inhale.
Long inhale.
Long exhale. Before I get... No, but he was saying... There was an interview in there that they were saying that you have to wait the longest amount of time you can before you say your next line.
Well, yeah, you can't... I used to fucking step on my laughs pretty badly.
I do it so much.
Because you know what, I'd have the line, and then they'd laugh, and then they wouldn't stop laughing, and then I'd be nervous, so I'd move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do that. You have to wait, and then I don't know. That's when you really start to get good, when you understand the rhythm of it all.
Mm-hmm.
You give them this much, and then you go, and then you give them this much, and then you go. But then you can still fuck around and step on laughs. Is that you have to be very present in the moment, and it's difficult to be consistent, I'd say.
Yeah.
With that.
But you're always kind of like 3 seconds ahead of where
the audience is. For
yeah,
sure.
or even where your mouth
know what
is.
You know what you're gonna say.
Exactly.
Yeah. There is a certain thing of. I was talking to somebody about this today. Gerby. Shouts out to Gerby.
Shouts out Gerby.
Shouts out Kirby.
Shouts out to Gerby. We're talking about the fear, the initial fear, and that nerves that you just gotta burn out by doing as much as possible. That's something where stage time is really valuable. Is just you ending up being comfortable on stage.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny how there's a connection between everything in life and how that kind of is. I'm guessing it's like music, but with me, with running, when I first started running, I probably could run for longer distances, but it was what was in my mind that was stopping me. Like being like, I can't run this far. And then the mental practice is what helped me push forward. And I think comedy is a lot like that too, where it's like, you just have to burn it out. You have to burn out that kind of like
part of your brain.
the resistance in your
Yeah.
brain. Do you read it all? Are you a reader?
My reader. I'm gonna sound like a fucking idiot, but I don't really read anymore. I waste my life playing video games and listening to comedy. There's not much.
Video
books
games
that
is
I'm into.
something that I used to play so much of. I used to play so many video games. And when people talk bad about video games, it's so dumb when they talk about it breeds violence. Because it definitely doesn't,
that
but
shit,
it breeds
that's,
laziness. Because I was addicted to video games.
Yeah, serial killers were around before Pong, so
Yeah.
it's not exactly fucking. People were more violent then. What the fuck is
Yeah, I don't
the
think...
KKK was around in the fucking 1800s? Why the fuck were they? It was video games? No, they just
No,
suck.
but it does...
Humans fucking suck.
But it is like a drug, and it gets you addicted, and you get lazy because of it. At least I feel when I play video games.
Yeah, I always said like I never judge anyone for the addiction thing. Like my mom was an addict, and it's difficult for me to be like, oh, I can't like fuck that guy's a heroin addict because like I'm addicted to like video games, and I was addicted to energy drinks. That's how fucking lame I am.
Caffeine addiction is a real thing.
that's
It's a
fucking
real
next
thing.
level. Dude, like seriously, I was drinking like 2 Monsters a day for a while.
Damn.
And that's like, yeah, my stomach's probably all fucked up from that.
Probably.
Now I'm like, I'm down every once in a while. If I'm performing, I'll have an energy drink. But yeah, that shit was fucking rough. And I can't fault somebody for like, I'm addicted to crack. Like I got addicted to fucking Red Bull. So who the fuck am I?
Yeah, no, we were talking about this on the last podcast, but it's like you got to force yourself to be addicted to good things. Like, as you said, you give yourself a point system, so then you get addicted to whatever that is, like whether it be going on your workout bike or doing writing or something. Like, if you force yourself to be put into a regiment.
The feeling of killing is, I'm absolutely addicted to that. Just being on stage in general, I'm addicted to that. But like the feeling of doing really well and not trying to do it authentically.
Mm-hmm.
If you're on stage and you're doing well and you're doing it authentically, you're not going hack. You're not pandering. You're being yourself and doing well. That I don't know what heroin feels like. I've taken painkillers when I broke shit before, but like I imagine it's something like that. Like that is like the best feeling ever.
Yeah, you're in a different state. You're not in your body. You're kind of like.
It's weird that I just like everything about stand-up. I like the art form.
I do too, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of it, and the feeling of doing. I'm very lucky that I love the feeling of doing it, because I'm such a fan of it that I just wanted to contribute, and then just doing it, I was like, oh, this is. I've been an attention whore my whole life. This is like mainlining fucking heroin. This is great.
How did you get into it? Not doing it, but how did you get into it as a fan?
As a fan,
Yeah.
Well, my parents fucked up and showed me Carlin and Pryor too young. I don't even like telling this story anymore because it sounds so contrived and shitty. But my mom was really fucking cool. She showed me Pryor live on the Sunset Strip, which is one of my favorite. I fucking love Pryor. Live and Smoking is the most dangerous fucking special ever, considering the circumstances. That's the bet. Like, he's talking about sucking dicks as a black man in 1970. That is. That was dangerous. That was fucking dangerous.
Yeah.
Fuck whatever you're doing now. You know, that was so dangerous back then.
Yeah, people are so scared to cross lines, but those lines have been crossed. You just have to have a point, and you have to be good. Like,
Yeah.
you can't just do it, as you said, to be an edgelord.
Exactly, yeah. And she showed me live on the Sunset Strip. I was like fucking 6. And yeah. And he has that last joke where he lights the match. He's like, "What's that? That's Richard Pryor running down the street." And then she stopped it, and she was like, "You know why that's funny?" And I'm like, "No." And she's like, "He tried to kill himself by lighting himself on fire, and he made that so funny that he closed his show with it. And if you can make something funny, then it can't hurt you like that."
Dude,
And
that's
that-
not contrived at all. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful, and
it
that's
sounds a little.
you should
contrived,
get
I
it
think, but-
tattooed on the right
Oh
above
my
your
God.
ass. No, but that is
Gonna
a beautiful.
pull out and come on the old philosophy.
No, but that is something that, especially ingrained in you young, probably helped you, especially through you using comedy as kind of like I don't want to say an escape because that's a bad thing, but we all use it as an output. We like to. Like, I've had some
It's a
really
creative outlet. Everyone
yeah.
needs a passion. And
I've had some really good sets when I'm really sad or really angry.
Oh, that's great.
Like,
I remember just going to Ying's and just manic depressed with fucking. I'm wearing sweatpants right now, but like
I'm wearing
just
athletic pants.
wearing sweatpants all dirty and then just going up and doing well. It just feels great.
It does. But you can't live off that. At least for me, I feel like if I'm just living off my comedy highs,
Yeah, then COVID happens and you're like, "Fuck!" That's
It's
exactly
not
what
worth
happened
it.
to
Yeah,
me.
it's-
I
that's
was gonna
what-
kill myself for like
It
2 months
was-
because I was like, I have nothing.
yeah, dude, that was why I had to break up with my old self too. Like, it was not. It's like a doctor doesn't go home every day and celebrate that he saved people's lives. That's his job. It's like our job is to be funny, even if we're not getting paid for it.
I like how that's the comparison.
I know.
Listen,
I like to make myself a lot
listen,
more
when
important.
when
than
I'm
I
up there
sound.
talking about my infected asshole, that's like me in the chemo labs helping those people out. All right, I'm helping out sick kids, talking about my dick and balls to strangers.
But you can't live off those highs because that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you're supposed to bring the funny.
Supposed to bring the funny, but yeah, you know, the high is nice though, and it is a motivator. Whatever keeps you doing it. That's one of the best. The reason people get good enough and people get good enough to like contribute something really great to this this art form it's because they never quit.
Mm-hmm.
There's some people. Don't get me wrong. I feel like enough people haven't been told to quit. I know people that should have quit, and they haven't quit. But the way you get
Can
good.
you play the positivity thing, please? Because
Yeah. You know what? Everyone should quit. If you've been doing it longer than a blank amount of time, then you should quit. If you're not funny yet, no,
you should only quit if you're telling yourself to quit. If you really are like, I don't want to do this, then don't do it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
there's a thing where it's like at the end of the day, you have to. you have to change yourself if it's not working, and you have to look at yourself honestly. Because I know so many people that just they don't. There's a lot of those guys that like they've been doing it forever. They just don't have the self awareness to be like, oh well, I'm not fucking good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like it's not even that you're not good. It's like, oh, that material doesn't work. I should try to write
Yeah,
new
it
material. I
doesn't
should go
matter.
to more mics.
I should, try new material, punch it up differently. I hate when people ask for advice and don't want it.
Yeah, that's
Like
always,
about a
most,
joke.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, especially with newer comics are all like kind of ego based. We're all fucked up and narcissistic and shit. And most of the time, someone when they ask for advice, it's tell me how good I am. Like
Yeah.
that's what you want to hear. And it's like if you want to. I don't know. I don't really give advice because it's like if I tell you not to do something, then it's gonna fuck you up. I don't want to do that.
You
know what I
should
mean?
know. It's really hard to give or take advice on jokes because you're.
It's like, what do you
not-
think of my act? It's like I don't fucking know.
You
It's
and
your
I
act, man.
aren't funny. That put anyone, but no one's funny the same way as another person. So they
Yeah,
can't
everybody's
tell
unique.
you like a tag. Like maybe tags will work, but it's also like that's funny if you said that joke, but it's not funny if I said that joke because it's not the way that I talk.
Well, are you gonna go tell like an old comic that he's not funny? Because there's so many of those guys that are just fucking brilliant, and it's like maybe that's not funny to you, but I like shit like that. Like
It was that Dave Rubin special.
Yeah, that guy is fucking amazing. I was about to name drop somebody in the scene, and
Oh, sorry.
It was gonna no. It was gonna sound kind of shitty, but it's not a shitty thing because I love people that go out of the box, people that do shit that's like not normal.
Totally.
But it doesn't work in all the fucking rooms. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's not gonna work everywhere, and but that's what makes it so brave.
But it's also that's what makes you a good comedian, and I don't. But this is why I look up to you in comedy: is you can do a great set at the studio, but you can also do a great set at Ying's, or you can do a great set like at shows that we can't speak of, where you can say whatever you want. Where it's like you can you have to be able to switch it up a little bit. Like I'm not saying that Alan Fitzgerald should go do clean shows, but it's like you should be able to switch it up at least a little bit.
You see that's the being true to yourself is what makes you good at this, I think.
Yeah.
And
You have to believe in yourself, but
yeah,
not too
but
much.
Then again, there are some people that I think it's just not in them to kill on like a road gig. You know what I mean? There's some people that are like, they're so fucking funny for what they are, but the people in the audience are like, either they're too stupid or they just don't fucking get it. Humor is just so different. I
Yeah.
know a lot of people that don't like absurd shit, and that just makes no fucking sense to me. Absurdity is so great.
Yeah, it's kind of like you were saying that you like rap, but you don't like mumble rap. You like more of the.
Yeah, I like conscious rap, and I like experimental shit like Death
Yeah.
Grips or Danny Brown. I like real shit that's like fucking out there.
I love that stuff too, but it's funny. I
don't know,
also
I get so bored with the mumble rap.
I love mumble rap
It all
too.
sounds the same.
I really do. I love all the like I love Danny Brown. I love Death Grips. I love clipping. I love all that stuff. But I also love mumble
Clipping
rap.
fucks.
And that's kind of how I feel about comedy. Like I like comedy that's just the person is funny because they're themselves. But I also like comedy that's such great joke writing.
Yeah,
Like it can be the whole spectrum.
well, you can like an Alan. Alan's fucking one of the best writers in New England. I fucking
He's
love Alan
amazing,
Fitzgerald.
yeah.
He's so good.
When are you
But
guys starting your WWE career?
Fat
Everybody
and
love
Saturday.
everybody!
No, but he honestly is one of the funniest.
Yeah, but like his comedy's not for everybody. The same way Mark Gallagher, that dude's fucking. Do you know Mark Gallagher?
No, I actually don't.
He's real alty. Like he's fucking so out of the box.
Mhm.
He's fucking so funny though.
Mhm.
Like, that dude, everybody loves that guy, and it's like those two styles are so different, and they're not gonna work at the same spot everywhere.
Yeah.
you know, because like Alan, like I don't want to use the word cuck because just seems. I don't want to be like, oh, this guy's right wing weirdo. No, I'm like a liberal and shit, but like, there are some people that just don't get that it's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
You can fucking be a liberal and laugh at shit that's the point of comedy is to make fun of shit that's really dark, and you're like, oh, don't do rape jokes, don't do this joke, don't do this kind of joke. If it's a good joke, do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if you're not just doing it to be edgy for the purpose,
for the sake of being
exactly,
edgy, yeah, that I hate that trap, and I hate that mentality where it's like I'm talking about rape because I'm a fucking. It's like no, I don't know, do something different with it. And you can fight shit like that. You can actually fight stuff that's bad. Like I make fun of the fact that I got molested. Like that's not bad necessarily.
No, and it's
like,
your.
Yeah, but people have shut down on that. Like
And
audiences
get
shut
offended
down.
on
Get
behalf
offended
of you.
on behalf of me, which doesn't make sense. And it's
Yeah.
like, how are you supposed to talk about other people's problems then?
But I feel like that's just a societal problem. Not societally, but a human problem is we don't like to face ignorance is bliss. It's such like a common thing, but we don't want to face the things that are real. Like we don't want to face the things. And I think especially it's very timely right now where people are finally, after being stuck inside for so long, facing the reality. They are going out and they're saying, hey, we're fed up with the system. We're fed up with things that are being handled. And hopefully that goes into people's mindset of being like, well, let's deal with our own personal problems and our own personal demons so we can get past it and hopefully laugh at it. It's like the thing that your mom said. If you're able to laugh at whatever, it's important.
It can't hurt you, and
exactly.
It empowers you. Laughter should be a tool to like get rid of some of this dark shit. Life is so fucking hard. Like, why not? Why are you gonna laugh or why are you gonna cry when you could have laughed?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Well,
you could cry about the fact that there's police brutality, or you could you could try and laugh about it. You could try to make it funny.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and hopefully people will then listen to it because
Exactly,
they're
yeah.
laughing and they disengage.
Yeah.
And that's something.
And also, sorry.
No, it's my podcast, so I'm going to speak first.
I'm leaving.
No, but it's something that I've taken a lot from you, and it shows in a lot of people, and it shows in you even coming here, is we're from the Cape. We don't live close to a lot of mics, but if you really love it, it doesn't matter. You do it. Like, I'll drive 2.5 hours each way to do 3 minutes at the studio. I don't care because I love it. It's fun. Like, and if you don't love it, it won't seem fun. But if you love it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
because
could you
you're in
imagine
it.
not? Because I've talked to people before that are like, I'm just doing this to get famous, which
Oh,
I thought
dude,
was like,
that would-
dude, I thought that was like a myth. You know what I mean? I thought that was like nobody ever actually thought like, but like guys that are actually good have told me that, and I'm like, then why the fuck are you? You're just gonna be in pain. Like there's no way. There's no way you're gonna for
miserable
sure.
life
Yeah,
if
this is
you
a
don't
miserable
love it.
fucking life.
Yeah.
For you to get famous, you have to do this for like 20 fucking years and just keep working at it, keep working at it. It still might not happen,
Yeah.
but
If you work in a restaurant, it's not a great life. You do it because like,
I'm doing this because I want to get really good at it, and I want to
It's a
fucking
passion.
contribute to it. It's something. It's all I've ever wanted to do. You know what
it's
I
the
mean?
way that you feel most heard. I feel that way about it too, where it's like, even if I'm not good, I can still feel myself growing and getting better. And I also know that this is the way I want to express what I have to say, is through a comedic medium. Now, that can be through food for some people. That can be through sports.
Slam poetry.
Slam poetry. You could be the best curler in the world. But that's how I want to express myself, is through comedy. And through this podcast of self-help. Hey, how many minutes in are we?
We actually have been going for about an hour.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. So maybe we can wrap it up in a little bit. I wanted to do something with you. Do you have bits written on your phone?
Not really written. I actually have my notebook in my car. Why? What do you want to?
What's
You
the
want me to do a
no? I
premise?
just want. Yeah, I want to hear what's one of your first premises you ever wrote.
Oh, oh fuck. I'm trying to remember something that. Oh, there's a bit that I had about a scooter. I got high with my friends, and I bought a scooter at Toys R Us, and I turned it into like a 4-minute bit. It was just so fucking long. It was just terrible.
About a scooter?
Yeah, about buying about being an adult and buying a scooter at Toys R Us. And, yeah, that was like my first real bit, and then yeah, I had to chuck that at some point. It stopped working after Toys R Us closed.
Yeah, after they went
Yeah.
bankrupt, people just got sad.
Yeah, I think it was just that people were like, when I was a kid, you know, I looked young, so I'd be like, I was at Toys R Us, and then you know, right away they'd be like, ha ha ha.
This
I don't
kid
know,
was
for like an
angry.
easy laugh.
You
I
look like
guess.
you could still live outside of a Toys R Us.
I look like a molester. I don't look like I'm buying toys for sure.
I could see you riding, and remember they had like the car with the purple dinosaur in it, and you
Oh,
could put a
yeah.
quarter in it and it would, like, bounce around. I feel like I'd see you sitting in
I'm
one
in
of
that
those.
Borat thong.
Yeah, in the
just-
we're making this video.
There's no law that says I can't do this.
Where is the? I have the Constitution.
Let me see the
right here.
guidebook. Officer.
One of my first bits. It was actually my first bit was how I wished I was homeless because they're such free people. And the punchline was that you can't masturbate when you're homeless because it's always in public. It's always public.
It's always a crime.
It's always a
Can't
public
live your life,
indecency
dude.
crime.
That's the only reason you're not homeless right now.
That's the only reason. Yeah. Thank you
You know
very
what?
much.
The first bit I did was also about being homeless. It was
Really?
about it was about
Do you want to move into a cardboard box
fuck.
together?
Hell yeah. No, it was about the reason I'm fat. It was like I'm fat because I'm storing food for when I get kicked out of my parents' house. And I was like, yeah, I'm putting up with my dad's shit now, but as soon as I hit C cups, I'm out of here. It was fucking cheap.
The first time I did stand up was on Kill Tony in
Oh,
the
shit,
belly
there you go.
room, and I won't say the comedian's name. I'll tell you after. But a pretty well-known comedian was the guest,
Mm-hmm.
and after the show was like, "Hey, you shouldn't do jokes about homeless people." I did really well. My first time, the second time I ever did stand up was on Kill Tony 2, and I bombed in front of Steve-O. But the first time I actually did well. And this comedian was like, "Hey, you shouldn't do jokes about homeless people." And I was like, okay, like it went well, but that was a weird thing. And then I saw him at Laugh Boston like a year later, and he had a fucking joke about homeless people. I was so mad, and it wasn't even as good of a, not that my joke was good, but it wasn't that good of a premise. And it always
He's
made
just
me,
trying to keep you off homeless people. He's
Yeah.
like, "You're the rising star."
I mean, I love being on
My
top
homeless
of
bit
homeless.
isn't as
Whenever I
funny
see
if he
homeless
has
people,
one.
I lay on top of them.
Mm.
That's my version of planking. Well, thank you very much for being here.
Yay!
I never got to force you to eat a clementine. And we're going to play the intro again because we talked over it for John Zayat's sake.
Bruh.
This is just gonna-
Mustache vegan. I love
Mustache.
John.
Mustache
It was
vegan.
at
I
this
saw
moment
him
that
eat
he
pork.
He bucked up.
Yeah, John.
Calling you
I
out,
just
John.
outed you.
You're fucking
Welcome.
fake ass. bitch,
You're
dude.
listening to
I think you
Bucked
eat
Up.
pork.
And we're
With
talking
Sam
over your
Buck.
beat. You think we care?
Bruh.
No, he's a very
Now
good
you
producer,
fucked up.
and I love him.
Now you fucked up.
Thank you very much for being
Now
here.
you fucked
Give me a
up.
kiss.
You have fucked up now. Now you fucked up. Now
I
you
wanted a
fucked
kiss.
up.
Knocked
Now you
over the
fucked up.
mic.
Now you fucked
I
up.
bucked up.
Now you fucked up.
You
Now
have
you
fucked
have
up,
fucked
man.
up.